Welcome back to the SketchUp tutorial. Today we'll be looking at creating a dynamic component to represent cross-laminated timber. This is a quick sample here of what cross-laminated timber or CLT is. It's different layers of timber in a cross direction. So the outer layer would be one way, the next layer would be 90 degrees opposite, and then so forth. And this is a 5 lamella system. Let's go to the main screen. So CLT will come in various different disguises and forms, but for just now, let's assume you can either have it as a 3 lamella layup, and that would be lamella 1 would be the outside layers, both sides, and lamella 2 would be denoted as the middle lamella or layer. And if it's a 5 layer system or 5 lamella system, then it would be 1 would be denoted for the 2 outside lamellas. Number 2 would be the next layer, and 3 would be the middle. And it's a 7 lamella system, that would be very similar as before: 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's the layup. Now, let's create something just now that we can start modeling with. That's an arbitrary size for just now. There we are. If I just select all of that, right click, make component, we'll give it a name, we'll call it 2 underscore ZZ underscore CLT, perfect, and then we shall go to the controls menu. Now here we are. I'll show you how to do that one more time. So on my version of SketchUp, we've got an extension manager. Your extension manager of a newer version of SketchUp would indeed be in a separate ribbon up there, but for my one it's a little bit older. Here it is. So I'm going to make the SketchUp component enabled, apply changes, the dynamic component, sorry, and then I'm going to view, toolbars, and the little menu appears, and I'll go dynamic components, press close, and there we are, those 3 icons have appeared. I'll put them here just now. Select that, and we'll go to component attributes. As before, we'll have name, we'll have description, we'll have the 3 sizes, len X, len Y, len Z. I'll have P underscore mean to represent density. We'll have that's 400, as we did for the C16. And then we'll have N for number underscore lam for number of lamellas. In here, we'll press this, I'll do that one more time. We'll press this icon, and that brings us a control function up. The display rule would be the user can select from a list. The units, let's have it in a decimal number, and let's have the options. We'll have it 3, 5, and 7. And that's got 3, 5, 7 for both the list option and the value. Press apply. If I now press this icon, which is the component options, we should indeed see we now have a graphical user interface for controlling this object. At the moment, it's only showing 3, 5, 7. We can then press apply, and it'll then apply those changes into the main system. At the moment, it's not doing very much. Now, if for some reason this control option doesn't appear, or this graphical user interface doesn't appear, then what you'll need to do is you'll need to obviously close the window, go up to View, Toolbars, You would then deselect dynamic components, and you then go into your extension manager, and you would deselect that. You would apply changes. You would shut down the software or close the software down, reload it back up, then reapply or re-enable the dynamic components option, and then go to View, Toolbars, and turn back on the dynamic components, close that down, but obviously ours is working, so we're fine just now. Now, let's create some more options here. Not only do I want to know how many lamellas will there be in this CLT configuration, but I'll also want to know or have the ability to input the dimensions of each of these layers. So I go back, select my object, and we'll go Add Attribute, and we'll call it D for dimension, lam underscore 1. And we'll do 4 of those. So I've created 4. I'll go to the first one, and I'll go centimeters. User can select from a list. We'll go 20 mil, or 20, 30, 33, 40. And then we'll want to put that into, so I'll make that 2.0, 3.0, 3.3, and 4.0, because it's in centimeters, if that makes sense. Press apply, and I'll do the exact same thing for the other 3. I'll do this one first of all. And again, I'll put the point in, so it's not 200 mil, it's only, press apply. I'll go ahead and do the rest of those, and I'll bring you back once I've done that. So I've now got all 4 of those created. And we can see over here that if we go into this, you've got a selection of the various sizes that you can pick from. These are referring to the lamella layup. So go back to what I had selected there. So if it was a 3 lamella system, I can press, say, 33 and 33. That would be 33 mil for layers 1, that's both layers 1, and 33 mil for layer 2. Or I could do a 40, so it would be 33 mil for 1 and 1, and 40 mil for layer 2, and you have to add that up accordingly. Press apply, and it then applies those numbers into the system. Right, so it's not yet fully finished. Almost there though. Now the next thing I want to do is to then add all of this up. So let's make a new attribute, and we will call it depth. That'll be fine. Depth. And in here, if I go into it and press equals, it's the exact same as in Microsoft Excel. If, open brackets, if lamella, or n lamella, equals 3, then it would be lamella 1 plus lamella 2 plus lamella 3, and I'll put comma, and if it's not equal, if the number of lamellas does not equal 3, then it falls out with this, so I'll then make it, I don't know, 30, close brackets. Now at the moment, number of lamellas does not equal 3. If I go back in here and say number of lamellas equals 3, and it's 33 mil, 33 mil, and then obviously 33 mil. So that should be 99 millimeters in total it should be. So press apply. There we are. We should maybe perhaps tell it the units that it's in, centimeters. So that's 9.9 centimeters. So that's correct. But if I go and I'll put some sizes in for the other lamellas, and say it's a 5-layer system, it's not going to give me the correct answer. So if I go back into the depth, and what I can do is take out that 30, and I use what's called a nested if command. So I'll type in if again, open brackets, number of lamellas equals 5, and comma. Now if it does equal 5, then it's going to be lamella 1 plus lamella 2 plus lamella 3 plus lamella 2 plus lamella 1, comma. And if it's not equal to 3, not equal to 5, then it's got to be number of lamellas has got to be equal to 7. So I'll put my comma in, and now all I have to do is do the configuration for the depth of a 7 lamella system. So we'll go depth of lamella number 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, and then close my brackets, press enter. And that's now calculating the depth properly. If I go back in and just change this about a little bit, we can see that that's accurately calculating the depth. If I now go into what direction it would be in the green direction, go here, press equals, and then press depth, enter. This is now going to be controlled by the number of lamellas, we'll say 3, press apply. That should be a 60mm deep panel now. Double check that I've got that correct. And sure enough, that is correct. Before we finish it off, we should give it some sort of colour. I'll give it a nice pastel purpley colour just now. And we'll just define that as our CLT colour. And we've now got a generic sample of CLT. And that could be stretched and extruded accordingly. The only caveat I'm going to state with CLT is make sure that your panels, your individual panels, do not go bigger than 3 meters by 12 meters. Now this is the end of this tutorial. In the next one we'll be looking at creating a very simple building out of cross-laminated timber. Thank you.